Societal collapse and you. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. That's what we're talking about today. If you knew societal collapse was coming, what would you do? How would you prepare for it? What kinds of things would you think about? What kinds of things would you get? And what direction, how different would your life be right now if you knew that societal collapse was coming within, I don't know, say a week, a day, a month? I'm not saying that we have a heads up onto when or where or if this is going to happen, but it's something we need to think about up here. Remember, our most powerful tool, our mind. We need to be aware of things. We need a war game, is what we call it. Tabletop is another term for it. Basically, you think about what could happen, and then what can you do about it? How can you better prepare yourself for fill in the blank? Say societal collapse. What does that mean? That means basically we wouldn't have a rule of law, you wouldn't have a hospital to go to, you wouldn't have 911 to call, you wouldn't have a grocery store to go to, all those kind of things that we're used to every day. You wouldn't have a gas station to go to. All these things that are normal in our everyday lives may not have a cell phone to, cell service. It depends on the severity of the situation, what the situation is, and where it is. Also, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's across the board, across the whole nation, across the whole world. It may be localized, but then spread. I would think societal collapse is more like, I think of that more as a widespread event than a localized event. So yeah, that would be a big thing. This is one of the big events that is out there and is a possibility. Societal breakdown. What would happen? Okay, let's talk about that. I'm pretty sure there would be riots. There would be looting. There would be all the bad things. Rape, murder, theft. Target getting looted again and again and again. Since it seems like that's always the store getting looted. It's always Target. I don't know why. But anyway, then, you wouldn't be able to find, the things you need. Like that pair of Air Jordans, Oh man, that's one of those funny things that, when people go rioting and looting and stuff like that, it's what they steal. They're walking out with big screen TVs, Air Jordans, things like that. They're not walking out with food. They're not walking out with medicine. They're not walking out with rolled gauze. They're not walking out with camping supplies. They're not walking out with anything that is actually going to help them survive. And I know maybe that's not their goal. I don't know what's in their minds because I don't think like that. Obviously, I'm not one out there doing that kind of thing. But societal breakdown would be really ugly. I mean, security and defense would be big. And those are things we talk about on Patreon. If you're interested in Patreon, link is in the description of this video. We talk about all that kind of stuff over there. But there's still a lot we can talk about here. You would have to, and this is another reason why, I talk about mutual assistance groups, a lot of other channels. It's a very important concept. It's a very important topic to have and to be aware of and to try to build yourself into a better situation. Why is that? Me as myself and my family, the four of us, we literally cannot provide 360 security 24 hours a day. Do I need to provide 360 security? In my situation, my location, no, I don't. But everybody's in different situations. And if you're in an urban area, during societal collapse, oh man, that is not going to be a good thing. This is why we talk about bugging out. Also, this is why we talk about all these things. Bugging out, MAGs, mutual assistance groups. This is why we talk about all these things. Bugging out is not optimal. No. Unless you're in an urban area, then it might possibly be optimal for you. If you're living in an apartment and most of your preps are at a bug out location, if you have a structure there, if you have some land there, if you own it, and go there regularly so that you know it's not occupied by somebody else. and hard enough to find that odds are somebody else probably won't find it before you get a chance to get there. Because if somebody else finds it before you get there and they're dug in and they have a bigger group than you do or whatever, yeah, it's going to be very hard to take back. You may not be able to. So these are all things we talk about. Societal collapse is it's a big, big one. If we are in a situation where it's complete like societal collapse type thing, then skills living out in these kind of areas, like making things like that, that's a travois. What is a travois? Travois is a Native American sled, basically. They hook that end to the horse or pull it, hold onto it. They can stand right there and drag it, and they put their stuff right here. A person, their supplies, whatever, and it tilts over and they just kind of drag it behind them. Doing bushcraft, things like that. That's one the kids and I made. Just really quick down and dirty. It was just a fun project. Getting out and being able to do the things that are out, that incorporate being out here, being out in the woods, being outside, being able to identify that that's a red huckleberry, being able to identify that that's a black huckleberry, knowing what kind of ferns those are, and all the things. I just talked about yesterday's video about foraging and learning all those things. Getting out and learning some of these basic bushcraft skills, survival skills, wilderness survival skills is very important. Hopefully you're in a situation where you won't really have to use them, but you never know what situation you're going to be thrust into. In a complete societal breakdown, you may end up in a situation you haven't planned for. That's called Murphy's Law. That's why we try to think about all the options, all the ways things can go wrong, all the situations that we can be placed into, so we can do things to mitigate the negative effects of those situations, so that we can thrive, not just survive, in any kind of situation. No matter how bad it is, no matter how all-encompassing it is, all these kind of things. We need to be ready for as many different things that could happen as possible. So keep that in mind. Societal collapse. What are some of the biggest concerns for you? Security and safety is a big one. Like I said, predominantly we talk about that over on Patreon. But being able to protect your family, have proper security, defensive measures, and or be in a situation where you are far enough away from any threat. That's what I like being. I don't want to have to worry about security, about any kind of conflict, physical conflict. I would much prefer being the warrior in the garden. Yeah, I would much prefer being out in the garden, doing the things instead of worried about security. But that would be a factor. Definitely be a factor. So division of labor is going to be important as far as who does what when and how you can do it. But if you're in a situation where either you're bugging out to a lower population density or you already live there, obviously you'll be better off. Because yes, you will still have to worry about security, but it tends to be easier to set security and to do proper security and have that peace of mind for you and your family, your group, whatever it may be, in an urban or in a in an urban area. No, the opposite. In a rural area than an urban area. Think about all the factors if you're in an urban area. Oh my gosh. First of all, the number of people. What about supplies? Untenable. It's just not a situation where you're going to do well long term. You have to place yourself in the best situation you possibly can for long-term security, safety, survival, all these kind of things. So those are some things to think about, definitely. So having a fortification like this inside a bunker, solid steel reinforced concrete, like the Maginot Line, good thing to have, right? Have yourself a castle. I'm just kidding. This is a retaining wall. This is not a fortress. But seriously, think about security considerations. One thing is, you also got to think about staying mobile. A lot of times staying mobile is a better situation than trying to take on a static defense. But if you're mobile, you cannot be growing your own food, raising your own animals. Maybe take some animals along with you. You could be foraging, you could be hunting, trapping, fishing, all that kind of stuff. And yes, that is an option. Staying mobile may be, possibly in certain situations, a better option than static, than staying put. Because static defenses, no matter how solid they are, no matter how impervious they are, they're not. They can be taken over, they can be infiltrated, they can be defeated. So anything like that, all your motion sensors, all your alarm systems, all those kind of things, they have vulnerabilities. I know all about those vulnerabilities and how they work. And trust me, no matter what you do, somebody that knows how to do it can get in, can defeat them. But I'm not trying to discourage you guys. Still have those things, good things, because the number of people out there that actually know how to get through that stuff is a very low number of people. So that's not really something to worry about. Have yourself some defensive capabilities. That is very important. But what I like more about security and safety is distance between me and the threat. Kind of like a nuclear disaster or nuclear fallout. Radiation, time, distance, and shielding. Time, same. Let's equate those three things: time, distance, and shielding into this situation. How does that work for societal collapse? Well, time, if you're in an urban area or around any kind of threat, limit your time there. Don't be in the areas where there's threats. Don't be in the areas where there's rioting, looting, and chaos. Distance, get yourself out of there. Be as far from that kind of stuff as possible. Definitely, that is a good one. Shielding, defenses, fencing, alarm systems, guys with these, those kind of things. Time, distance, and shielding. Hey, same kind of thing works in this situation, just a little bit different application. So that's something to think about. Obviously, there is a lot to think about and to prepare for if we're talking about a complete societal collapse situation. So I encourage you guys, like I say, prep a little every day. Just keep doing that. Keep doing the things that you are doing every day, hopefully. Keep buying food. Keep adding to your food storage. Keep adding to your water storage, your water capability, your capacity, how much you can hold and have it. Have things like, I don't know if you can hear in the background, but homestead security kitties. Just kidding. Seriously, add to your fitness. That is key. Fitness is so vital. A lot of times it's not talked about that much on prepper channels because it's not flashy. It's not easy. It takes work and dedication. But if you're not fit, think about how you're going to be in a societal collapse, in a world gone to IT. Think about how much more demanding physically things are going to be. Work on that. No matter what your physical limitations are or whatever it is in your life you're dealing with, there's always something you can do to work on your fitness, to improve your fitness level, your health. Eating healthy, whole, natural foods, drinking lots of water, getting proper sleep, exercising, living an active lifestyle, functional fitness, all these kind of things is very, very important. It's one of the most important things. So think about that. Think about what threats would there be in your area and what you would do to mitigate any negative threats and or situations that may occur in your area. We're all in different areas. We all have different things to think about and different things to prepare for. So keep moving forward, stay positive, make prepping fun. Remember, this is living insurance. This is what will enable you to feed your family, to not worry about your family, to take care of your family, to provide for your family and others. Anyway, have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.